We're going into the tequila business.
Hell yeah. If I keep my mindset at being a powerful manifester, I'm letting go of the expectations and I'm open to the new opportunities.
When I get angry, I don't feel powerful. I feel out of control.
I agree with you 100%. It feels like chaos.
Like a volcano, and it's just coming up and it's just going to explode if you don't like deal with it.
Welcome to Love Always Self. I'm Shira.
Hi, y'all. I'm Karista, and thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Love Always Self. We have no idea what we're talking about today.
Hi.
Just kidding.
We just decided to hit record, said, fuck it. Just true story. You know, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's our topic.
Maybe that's the key.
Yeah.
To this today.
Just letting go of although we've covered letting go on a few episodes. It's so prevalent though. At the time of this recording, of course, yesterday was the what everybody was calling the Lionsgate portal, right?
Yeah, August 8th.
And I will say that one thing that kept coming up to me was when people put that type of information out there, it seems to me that you're only going to manifest at your fullest potential on this one day that only happens every, I don't even know the time frame for it, but
once a year.
Is it once a year that
it's August 8th?
Okay. But this one's supposed to be extra powerful because
that's what they said a year ago too.
Right.
Or 2 years.
Because 2024, if you add up
it's
2 and 0 and 2 and 4 is 8. And then on August, it being the 8th month, which is debatable depending on when the calendar started, and then
or which calendar
you're looking at, and then the 8th day of the year
of August,
8th day of the year. It's not January 8th, my bad. Then that's the most powerful portal available. And I'll be honest, I tapped in for this one because I was like, I kind of consider myself, when I'm setting intentions, a powerful manifester regardless, right? And if I keep my mindset at being a powerful manifester, then I'm giving myself, and I'm open, and I'm letting go of the expectations, and I'm open to the new opportunities, and I'm opening my awareness for those new opportunities, then I'm just already there, right?
It doesn't matter what date or day of the week or
Right.
time or where the stars are at.
Right. Because I'll be honest, following other content creators that were Lionsgate portal, the biggest one, the most powerful one of the year. I found myself in a position actually absorbing that information and thinking about it, and then being oh my God. And then last night.
It puts you in a panic of oh my God, I didn't take advantage of it. I got to do that thing.
Which is a fucking lack mindset.
Yes, it is.
Which is just wild to me. I'm the pressure that was just spewed out on social media about this Lionsgate portal was a little intense. And now, granted, there's awareness factor, so I'm going to give some kudos to those that made that kind of content. There's an awareness factor of that, right? More people are aware that that's even a thing or considered a thing because of it, right? And so maybe more people in one day were setting more intentions than ever before in a single day. I don't know.
I mean, when did that start? Because I didn't hear about this whole Lionsgate thing until 3 years ago.
That makes two.
It was during the pandemic that I heard about it for the first time. I mean, I would think that the traditions and rituals that are done for the solstices, with the longest and shortest day of the year, would probably have a little bit more history behind them.
What's really interesting is when I go to different YouTube channels, and I have my favorite. Her name is Jessica from Bahati Life, and man, she is scary on point, but she uses 100% astrology readings, right? And sometimes they're specific to those in your, what is it called, the rising,
your rising sign,
right? or your actual birth sign or
Your moon sign.
your moon sign. Thank you. But she's very on point with the information. Even when you're doing those astrological readings, she's got a wicked like setup thing for that, which is really cool. You should play with that more often. But when you do those for me, I'm like, whoa,
I need more energy.
right? Need more time. Stupid clock. So, so
Don't blame the clock.
I blame the clock.
I blame the way of our life.
Which was dictated by a man-made clock.
But I mean, the clock was only put in place to follow what the sun was already doing.
A sundial
Yes.
for planting, for being in the ground.
To know what seasons it is.
Not to say you got to be here at 8 a.m. and you can't leave till 5.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That clock.
Yeah. That one's a meanie.
That was not a kind clock.
Kind of an asshole.
So, or who set the clock that said Monday through Friday is your 7 days? We're going to give you a week.
Was that one of the Fords?
We're going to give you a week. And then in the week, 5 of those 7 days will be dedicated to somebody else.
Somebody else's company.
Somebody else's profit. Who said that?
I don't remember if, I think it was a president, but I also think it was like, I want to say Henry Ford.
Huh.
Because, I mean, the goal of that originally was to lower the expectation that of the workers. Because at the time, the workers, there was no regulation.
I want to take it into a mind F moment for just a second.
Let's go.
Because this is what's going through my head as you're saying this. I'm thinking about time travel. So, you know, like in the time travel movies, they're like, don't go back and X the swastika guy. Try not to say certain words that'll get us banned on YouTube, but like
The dictator,
right? So they're like, if you go back and you do that, and then there's like the whole butterfly effect of what would happen if you did that, like all the things that took place afterwards and all that stuff. And then there's like the conversation of like, would you or would you not do it because he was born, and if you did that to a baby, like that's not cool. Like,
right?
But knowing what that baby will grow up to become an adult and be, like that kind of conversation. Yeah, that's actually happening in my head right now. So then there was the thought of like, what about the other guys or gals? Who knows? Person. What about the other person, right? The people that set these new demands on us to be enslaved into the environments that we are, I mean, we're following into. We're following the footsteps of somebody else's guide, right? So that person, what about that person? What if I could time travel to that person? You'd be like, hey, did you know that if you come up with this idea and you share it, what's going to happen to humanity in specific regions? Like,
Well, that's assuming that they'd care.
maybe. Or what if I can show that person how to astral travel into the future, just like I just traveled into the past?
I feel like you've got a TV show ready to go.
Man, that'd be a cool show. I'm sure they've made it, but that would be a pretty dope show.
Interesting.
I know.
I'm actually reading a book that's like a time travel love story.
Ooh, I do love a good time. The Time Traveler's Wife is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites.
I don't know if I've seen that or read that.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put that on your watch list.
Okay.
Okay. I do that.
Accepted.
Accepted. And then she'll like share with me like different series. I'm like, what are you watching? I ran out of stuff. I binged too much.
I'm still on the same thing. Modern Family.
Modern Family, really? I've seen a few episodes of Modern Family, but I can't say that I've
it's
seen.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Every single episode has me cracking up.
There's this one show that I really, really enjoy. I think it's called Ghosts. And it's this like young lady who inherits this like gigantic mansion, and there's like all these ghosts, but it's very, very
like you told me
comical.
about this.
So it actually really makes me laugh. So if you're looking for something to watch, there you go. I just gave you something to binge for a little bit. Don't ask me what platform it's on. They keep changing that. My head's still in the time travel though. time traveling to people that don't, that really should have just kept their mouth shut. You know?
Like, going back to the dictator.
I know, it's like tiptoes.
I know. Like, what do I say?
Tiptoe for the platforms.
Going back to the dictator, you know, I was thinking about like if he hadn't had the opportunity to start the war that he did and, you know, genocide.
Yeah.
What would those people that were a part of the genocide, if they had been able to keep their life, like what would they have contributed, you know, to society?
And like the lineage that
Yeah.
would have happened following that. I sometimes wonder, like, what happened to that baby H, we'll call him H, that baby H or that child H that grew such a hatred for another human being, like, or a type of,
Right. A
you
whole
know,
type of person.
a whole type of person. Like, that part is like really like a conundrum to me because I can't think of like a type of person that I just like. And the only way that that would have been a thing or is a thing in any space in my head is because I have a complete misunderstanding or misconcept of what it is that I'm thinking about, right?
I mean, it's just another form of racism,
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
which I agree with you. I can't fathom hating somebody or just being so, I don't know, like disgusted based on their like outer appearance or their beliefs.
Right.
You know, it's just their way of life.
Not enough to take a life, let alone in masses. Like, that is just wild to me. And
Like, if it bothers you, don't look. Go somewhere else. Don't interact with them.
I mean, seriously, same thing goes for the social media platforms.
Yeah.
You don't have to say hateful things. It's a thing.
If you can't say nothing nice,
Right.
don't say anything at all.
Now, I will say that scrolling through my personal Instagram account, which is like filled with nothing but jokes mostly, it's like either that little like cute animated bunny that's like, I love you, you know, and I send to you guys like quite a bit. It's either that or they're like full on like comedic moments, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But when I go to the comments, that's my favorite part. That's where I feel like humanity just tends to shine. The things that come out of people's typing, I was going to say mouth, but like maybe they said it out loud. Who knows? But they're typing. I'm like, where did you get that comment from? Like, that's brilliant. But then there's those that are just on there to be ruthless. And I'm like, why? That's a reflection, guys. Like that kind of like way of being is just something within you is just not, it's not sitting well, right? That you have such a hatred for somebody else's post on their own personal page, like that you want to say something so mean and nasty to them about it. Like, when you don't have to engage at all. It's a choice. It's a choice to be engaging in somebody else's world.
Like,
Hands
why do you
down.
have to be so sensitive?
I mean,
And
there's that.
if you are bothered by something, are you not just bringing yourself down also by saying like mean, hurtful things that bring other people down?
I mean, we've talked about the boomerang of energy. So like that's a fact. And you feel it sometimes. Like if you're really in tuned with like yourself, I feel like you feel it.
Oh yeah. Like I remember times when I would try and like figure out some rebuttal on Facebook and I would feel angry. And as I'm trying to type back in a way that kind of just like stops it, which never works, but I try. And while I'm typing, I'm getting more and more worked up.
Yeah.
And then I finally figure out like why. Like I'm not in front of this person. I don't interact with this person on a regular basis. They are not a part of my life. All I have to do is keep scrolling or set my phone down.
Isn't that wild? I love how you just stated that because that's the boomerang we're talking about. And that's a really good way to like understand that energetic exchange, right? Because we talk about sometimes how our words and our vibrations and everything is carrying, right? It just expands. And of course, the basics of science is that energy never dies. It just merely transmutes to something else, right? And so that's part of the goal that we try to have with this podcast, is that we are hoping that our messages, albeit sometimes funny,
Yeah. And sometimes filled
know,
with goofiness. And
right. Our hope is that the energy and the vibration coming from us and carrying out to you, listeners and friends and family, that you're receiving something just a bit more fun, a bit more positive, maybe sometimes relaxing. I've heard we're relaxing, which
is surprising. I mean, delightful.
delightful. That's amazing. The first time I heard that, I was like, I sound like a squirrel.
She thinks she sounds like a squirrel.
I do.
We've had arguments about this.
I know. And
She
it's
thinks she
weird.
sounds like Minnie Mouse.
This microphone is epic. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think she sounds like Minnie Mouse. I don't think either one of us do. Isn't that an interesting perspective though? Like when you're in your own head and you hear yourself, like this perspective of yourself that you develop when you're not even experiencing that part of yourself from outside of the body.
It's legitimately the shit we teach you about negative self-talk, and we do it to ourselves. We're human, like.
You're definitely not perfect.
No.
I heard a quote this week and I thought it was really poignant, or really interesting, kind of like a thinking, thoughtful one. I don't remember who said it.
Sorry.
It was in an email that I read, and I just remember the quote.
If you find it, we'll pop it down on the screen.
Yeah. The quote was, "An angry person wants you to know their power.
Oh.
A loving person wants you to know your power."
That's right. Very honest, very true statement, and very self-aware to even make that statement in the first place, or make that quote in the first place. And that's honestly the best power of all, is the awareness.
It's interesting because like I was just reflecting. I don't know if it's interesting to you. I think this is interesting, this thought that's going on in my head. I was thinking about when I get angry, I don't feel powerful. I feel out of control.
It's chaos.
Yeah.
It's chaos
not that,
energy.
and it's not even necessarily when I'm speaking or acting on that anger. It's just that feeling inside, I feel like out of control.
It's anxious energy. It's weathered in like, the pull apart, the polarity of who you are in your natural state, right? And honestly, like, I think that when you're pulling so far away from your natural state, which is usually calm and kind and love, because we're all love beings, then like, I think that's where you start to really feel that shift in your energy, that kind of like that icky feeling.
Yeah.
And
it's a total disconnect.
right. I do find it interesting. And I think that this goes back to some of the programming of things that have happened in the past and how you react and, all that fun stuff that I've said before. But I think that this speaks to that, because there's times where I've been angry and I feel this like welting up type, this like rising up of energy. And it doesn't feel like power. I agree with you 100%. It feels like chaos.
Yeah.
Like something that is just
like a volcano, and it's just coming up and it's just going to explode if you don't like deal with it.
Totally putting emoji.
Yeah.
Like a little gif. The power of editing. So get the point across. But
then like if you think about it, continuing on this analogy with the hot magma. Sorry.
Liquid magma.
The lava spewing everywhere, just how much destruction is caused. And the same thing with anger.
Yeah.
If you don't work with it in a way that is constructive, it can be detrimental.
Yeah. While you just said that about the lava, I was thinking, maybe because we've been talking about going to Mexico again. So I was thinking about how the agave plants that they use to make tequila grow best from areas where there's volcanoes, because of the type of rock and ground and soil that's there from the lava. And it just made me think about how the transmutation of energy, something so eruptive and explosive and dangerous and destructive, how it can transmute into something that can be so beautiful and beneficial and enjoyable. And you know what I'm saying?
Feed life.
Right. But it just also really, I mean, man, great analogies on this one. But like, you know, it just really speaks to like how you can transmute anything.
Yeah.
You know, something even as destructive as a freaking volcano can build agave plants that you can then go enjoy a cocktail with. So like,
I wonder how many years that takes.
oh man, I don't even know. I mean, there's a lot of tequilas out there. So, but there's not a lot of tequilas out there that are made straight from sources like that.
From
So,
agave. Yeah. A lot of what used to be the nice tequila companies like got bought out
I know.
by big names, and all their like ingredients changed and everything.
I heard it was most of them were bought out by big labels from Europe. Actually,
Oh, interesting.
I know. Promoted as tequila from Mexico. So we'll let you guys
Interesante.
do your own research. I say no more. So,
Small batch tequilas.
all batch tequilas. So,
Make your own.
right. Just grow your own agave plant in your backyard.
We
That's
have,
hopefully
like,
not next to a
5.
volcano.
We have 5 agaves.
That's nice. Coming to your house.
Yeah, I should tell John he can have a new hobby.
I have this brilliant idea, John.
We're going into the tequila business.
Hell yeah, I'll be your
Get
taste
some
tester.
worms. Why is that a thing?
I don't know.
Why was it ever a thing to put a worm in a bottle of tequila?
I actually don't know the history behind that to speak to the
And
why.
why would anybody want to eat it?
You know, there's somebody in this house currently in another room that has done this in front of me, and it was a moment. Yeah. I was like, nope, no, I'm good. Solid as a rock.
Please go brush your teeth
Yep.
now.
It's freaking gross. So, but you know what? I guess he had like a YOLO moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, check that off your list of things that you've tried.
Done it.
It's not on my list. It's not on my list.
Nope. No.
I'm really curious that by the time we actually go through the editing process of this video and release it out to you guys, do you like this style? This more casual? This more casual, like her and I just jumping through topics and thought processes. This is how we are when we're just by ourselves.
Yeah. Or do you like the more structured, intellectual?
Pick a topic and stick to the topic
Yeah.
and go through the tips, you know, like, which we do thoughtfully, may I add, but, you know.
We do our best.
We do our best. We want to give you authenticity. Here you go.
That's all we got left anyways.
I want to go back to the time travel, though, because it's still on my mind.
Okay.
So in my time travel, I would want, like, if I'm going to ask myself, like, where would you want to go if you're going to time travel? Like, what time and place would you want to be? Because there's also, and this is like the worst part about my brain, because it's going into analytical mode, right? So there's also this part of me that's like, well, according to everything that I have witnessed with my own guides, like with my own abilities, time, as they've stated, time is parallel. It's all running in parallel to us now. There is no like past, present, or future. It's just now, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a mind F, just so we're clear, to wrap my head around. But if I could just like bounce on whatever
Where would you go?
line it is, what would I do? Where would I go? There's a conversation that I think I would definitely go and have back with myself, right? My younger self. And how would that affect me in the now? Or does it affect that timeline? That reality that
rather
continues.
than this one.
Rather than this one, right?
That fork in the road. There we go.
Right. So these are the things that I kind of think about. But then I'm also like, well, not just to help myself, though. Like, what else could I do? The guy that invented the clock, I think him and I have to have a conversation, like I said. But, like, you know, the people that decided to conform to the way of living that we have now that has caused a lot of discourse between all of us. Like, I think I wish I would like know where that starting point was, or if that is not there is no starting point. It's just always been that way. Like, where did that arrive from? Is that Atlantis days? Like,
I want to go to Atlantis.
I would totally want to see what was that all about, you know? Like the stories.
The Eye of Africa.
Yeah. The stories I've heard. Like, yeah. Oh, man. That's such a debatable conversation about where that thing's located.
Conspiracies. I think it was a real place.
Oh, no. I 100% agree that it was a real place. Yeah.
I just know that, a lot of people may not believe that.
I agree. A lot of people don't believe that. I've had memories or thoughts that, during some of the PLR activity that I'm working on right now, I've had memories or thoughts about, me being there, right? I've had really vivid dreams that felt like a memory of when the flood happened, right? And so
I've had those too.
Yeah, see? Well, girl, you and me go a long way back in before this lifetime.
Which is why I want to try doing a PLR together.
Right? Yeah, no kidding. I know. Maya, what were we thinking when we were like up in our little ether moments and we were like, you know what, we're going to go like incarnate and we're both going to be females and we're both going to have like this weird side parallel situation happening. So we're there to support one another, but we're not going to meet until we're in our 30s.
Yeah.
What's that?
Even though we've pretty much been parallel since high school.
Right. See you in 30, sis. Yeah. 30 human long ass years. Blinking of an eye up here. Don't worry. My perspective's completely different.
I keep thinking about, because, I read a bunch of fantasy novels,
Yeah.
and every single one has like these adventures where they have to go on horseback ride through the forest and over the mountain and through the woods. I want to do that.
Oh, you're talking about like the...
Not necessarily like Fantasyland, but
Yeah.
like Renaissance era. I don't necessarily want to deal with like the oppression.
Or the being chased with the bow and arrows situation. But yeah.
But like going on adventures and not
Yeah.
being tied down with 8 to 5s.
What I really want to know is like, did the magic carpet actually exist
In Aladdin.
in Aladdin? Dude. Did
Well,
it
if
exist?
Atlantis did, then
bet
it's
it did.
very possible.
I know. What did the pyramids do? I want to go there.
Oh,
When they were in their prime.
I think they give off electricity.
I think they were an energy source.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All around the world, considering they're on like the same
Ley line?
latitude.
It's a ley line, right? I don't know.
I don't remember. One of the L words.
There are a ton of YouTube channels that actually give you all that information. But yeah.
But they're in a circle around the world.
Hemisphere.
Yes. That's up and down.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
That's cool. I went to school, I promise.
I think that they would, connect. And it would just be this energetic source shared all around the world.
Who was that guy that, like
Nicholas
Tesla?
Yeah. And maybe everything stopped when Atlantis got flooded.
Yeah, like it was like the switch that got turned off.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
But I think they've discovered more pyramids even underwater.
That's true. I've actually seen some footage of things like that. I'll have to find that, but I watch a lot of videos about stuff like
I
this.
wonder what else is down there.
Well, they keep coming up with like new discovered species from the ocean. We barely scratched the surface.
I just mean
of
like
that.
cities and like, human civilizations and
Mermaids.
mermaids and sirens and
Yeah.
other mythological beasts. The Kraken.
The Kraken. We've seen that movie. Don't let that one out. That one was not great for humans.
No. He's a baddie.
He's not kind. Unless you watch that show, The Magicians. That's another one you can go binge watch.
Oh, man.
Love that one. All right.
Yep.
It's that
We're
time,
on the
y'all.
same page.
Yeah.
We're forking it.
We're forking. Thermostat said done, y'all. All right.
We're
Well,
gonna be like a tree and leaf.
I'm gonna make like a tree and leaf. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
The bloopers that will come out of this episode alone is gonna be epic. This episode was all over the damn place, so we hope you enjoyed it.
Again, let us know.
Right. Do you like this format better? Should we just hit record next time when we want
Or
to
as
just
well.
have a...
Yeah.
Right.
Just volley back and forth.
Right. Don't unsubscribe. Okay, we love you. Oh my God. Speaking of actually subscribing.
We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Guess what, you guys?
We also have a website.
We do.
lovealwaysself.com.
Go ahead and check out. You can actually check out all the podcasting gear that we have. It's on an Amazon shop. We do get a kickback, although it does not increase the price of the object for you. So that's also awesome. But we appreciate any support that we can get with this channel because trust me when I tell you, it comes out of our own paychecks. So,
You know what I discovered this week? Is I was sending a response to a pharmacy
yeah.
that a patient needed a prior authorization to receive a certain like medication or device or something like that. And I realized, because we write, pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Right? Patient's going to pay out of pocket. And we acronym. And I realized that if you say pay out of pocket, it spells poop. So it's pay. OOP.
It's moments like those that I wish I had that third camera situation set up so my reaction was further caught. I will never unhear that.
Just wanted to share.
Every time somebody says that it's a pay out of a pocket situation, I'm going to think of poop. Feels like that. It literally aligns with that. Transmute that energy. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Before we say anything else, we love you all so, so much. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
And don't forget to love first.
Love last.
And love always.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, listener, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us in this moment. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and we look forward to our next connection.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow to stay notified of new content from Love Always Self. If you have any questions or topics you'd like for us to discuss, please hit us up on any of our social media platforms linked in the show notes below.
I'm Karista.
And I'm Shira.
And until next time, remember to love first,
Love last,
and love always. Love Always Self podcast is meant for entertainment purposes only. We do not make any warranties about the completeness, reliability, and accuracy of the information presented in this podcast. Any action you choose to take upon the information in this podcast is strictly done so at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses and damages in connection with the use of our podcast. Any and all medical concerns should be addressed with a licensed healthcare provider, as well as any questions that may be derived from the information discussed in this podcast.